guys. We're moving on to our last emailed question of the day, and this question comes to us from Dave, who also lives here in New York City. How you doing, Dave? Dave said, Matt Reeves's The Batman has shut down once again. This time because someone on the crew has COVID. Why do we need to shut down productions? Just get that person off set and resume as normal. Okay. There's a few things, Dave, that I would like to address here. And yes, originally Deadline, and this was this morning at about 9:30 this morning. Deadline was reported that the Batman, the UK production has temporarily halted production due to a COVID-19 case on set. We have an update. I think it was like an hour, maybe half hour before the show started. We have an update on that. The person, why is this? Oh, my web browser's going nuts. There it is. It wasn't a crew member that had coronavirus. It is Robert Pattinson, who is tested positive for coronavirus. And when the star of your film has coronavirus, everything needs to shut down. He's the main star. If you don't have Robert Pattinson as Batman, you cannot make a Batman film. Simple as that. There are, Dave, I understand what you're saying with, if it's a crew member, why can't you just get that crew member offset, and replace them with a new crew member, or just go without them? Here are my thoughts in that regard. There is a certain incubation time when it comes to COVID-19. We know it's at least a week. You could have it for up to a week and not know it. You could have it for up to 2 weeks before you start showing symptoms. And if you have it for 2 weeks, or let's just go ahead and say 1 week. If you even have it for 1 week before showing symptoms, you are spreading it to other people. So just because one person started getting symptoms and they have tested positive for COVID-19 doesn't mean that they haven't already spread it to other crew members or cast members. So in that regard, everything needs to come to a complete halt, and everybody needs to go through another round of testing. Maybe they don't have, maybe the director has, maybe Matt Reeves got coronavirus from Robert Pattinson. We won't know for maybe another week or 2 weeks. That's why we quarantine. That's why when you go from one state to another state that has, a high COVID population, you need to quarantine for a couple of weeks just to see if you start getting the symptoms. Chris, does this make sense to you? Do you agree with the production being shut down? Or, if this was not Robert Pattinson and it just was a crew member, do you think that they could continue on with filming production? Or, obviously that is not the scenario. It is the star of the film who has coronavirus, and everything needs to come to a complete halt right now. But what's your take on it?
I would want, as an actor, I would want production to shut down while they at least investigated how it might have happened anyway. So unless you're like, Tyler Perry, who has the juice to have a closed set completely in Atlanta, you're going to have this situation come up. And I would want, the length of time matters. Like I wouldn't want, like if it was a tertiary character, I wouldn't want to shut down for 3 weeks, a month, while they tried to figure it out. But I think at least shutting down for a few days while you got set up to retest everyone and started to kind of backtrace, okay, who is this actor been in contact with? Is there anything that we can do to make it a safe set? Because this is going to keep happening. We're going to keep seeing, actors on shows as we go back into this. It's going to keep coming up.
Well, we've already been seeing this with live productions. Like there are small town theater companies that have decided, you know what, we're out in the middle of nowhere. Nobody knows who we are. We're just going to do a production of like Bye Bye Birdie, or I don't know, something, whatever. And then you come to find out, well, the entire cast of Bye Bye Birdie came down with COVID-19 because one person introduced it to the rest of the cast, and everybody else is shouting and screaming in each other's faces.
Right.
So,
which is even worse. It's not like me and you, if we were socially distant and we're having a civil conversation, a lot of acting is going, say hello to my little friend. And like, that's a lot of, I'm putting a lot of
I wish
Airstream
that
your
is
way,
all
man.
acting was just say hello to my loved one. Like if that was what every audition was, nailed it every time.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts about Robert Pattinson getting COVID-19? Like this is kind of a big deal. If you are looking forward to the Batman, if you're looking forward to seeing what Matt Reeves is able to bring to us, if you are excited for seeing the Riddler, Paul Dano playing the Riddler, right? Oh man,
Oh, Daniel's such a good actor. Underrated. People should give that dude deserves some props,
right?
man. He kills it. Everything he does. He
This is
kills it.
one of the most like I'm more excited to see Paul Dano play the Riddler than I am to see Robert Pattinson play Batman.
Yeah. You've also got to remember with Robert's Batman character that they were already getting flack about his workout regimen and like,
True.
was he going to be able to physically embody the
True.
Batman? He's got sick, man. He's got to get through it. He's going to have to back to the gym a little bit and all of that. If you believe in that idea, I mean, you could argue that Michael Keaton's not exactly jacked up on his Batman
Agreed.
portrayal. But if you I like the idea of Batman being, super physically fit personally. So I would want him to have time to kind of get back to the same, for continuity's sake, if nothing else.
Anyway, guys, what do you think about all this stuff? Do you think that the production is going to be delayed even more? Well, obviously, the production is delayed. Do you think the film is going to be delayed? Do you think we as the fans are going to be affected by this particular news or happenstance? Jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys.